Voices of the Youth Podcast, a podcast that amplifies.
Women, we all understand women. There are a lot of things that they want, and they are a problem. Just choose a beautiful problem for yourself.
Definitely, choose a beautiful problem for yourself. What a beautiful problem?
Yes, they are all problematic. You find that.
Atipara uka tatukalishe mu youth. Ukalishe mu youth. Para uka sister ukalishe mu youth. Ukalishe mu youth. Panoni paseti tifuna voice ya mu youth. Ungangale ndiwe kemba. Panoni paseti tifuna voice ya mu youth. Olowenza vibala. Panoni paseti tifuna voice ya mu youth. Nabose ba ma business. Panoni paseti tifuna voice ya mu youth. Naima mu ma offices pushing my dreams. My dreams.
What's up, what's good and what's bad? Ladies and gents, welcome back to Z Voices, a podcast that amplifies with me, Tisro, is a data project. Not wasting much of your time. If you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe. Man is in the building, actually outside the building of Katuishimweben. But not to fika. Otherwise, let me get to him. Mr. Chewe, you're very much welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, now then, twakumana futi. Twali kumene somewhere, but again, twakumana.
Well, you know, certain meetings, you know, when you connect and all of those things, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Just continue. I believe that in you can quickly introduce yourself. What's your name? Maybe anything that you'd like to share.
My name is Chiwe Kriston. Yeah, I'm also known as DJ Hala when it comes to music playing. Yeah, like we playing music on the radio. I'm an on-air personality. At some point, I've been an actor, but right now, yeah, I've been an actor at some point, but I've just decided, okay, for now, I'll just be an on-air personality, and then let me just stick to that. Yes.
That's what's up. Monega chemo ndimo muliko. Ndima industry ano. Muyaziba kudara. We've touched here and there.
We are learning from the best, I should say. We are learning from the best, and I thank God that I've actually come across our paths have crossed. I believe I have a lot to learn from you.
You know, there's a lot to learn. I think I'm yet to learn one or two things from you. You just share knowledge. Thank you very much actually for coming through. But before we get into the actual topic, I like to warm up the conversations. Just warm up.
Exactly.
Now jamuntu wanu before machacha warm up.
Yeah.
Hey, warm up. Hey, you get into it. Get into character. But just a quick one. Is there any song that you are listening to, and any artist that you are listening to that you think people don't even know at woman there? Away from the regular people that you listen to, your favorite artist. Muntu she winang wakati banzako swazo nozwadde watatu. Kanso woman vera na soul.
I think there's a girl by the name Zian. Yeah, there's a girl by the name Zian. Nobody really knows about nobody knows that I vibe to such kind of music, but I think she's pretty talented, and she's been putting out those very, very beautiful songs. She's Zambian, and she's giving some the great vibes. You know, there's that kind of different music whereby not most people don't listen to it, but it's that kind of music that finds itself in Netflix movies, and also it can get nominated.
So when you say most people don't listen to it, new music bunch?
I think it's Zam rock, hip hop. She's a rapper. She's quite young. She has done a number of songs. Most people know her songs, but they don't really know her because of the type of song. You know, we are used to listening to Dunka and all these kind of local genres. Yes, that's, you know, we want to get song, exactly
in the club.
Yes, but I believe this girl will take us to where we need to get.
No, that's what's up. It's actually cool to know that there's men that do listen to female artists, you know, female songs. Because I think a few days ago, I came across such a conversation where people are saying, you know, like it's rare that you find men listening to females. Yeah. It's always as guy wakazi, so ati umamverera bakazi. It's a bit rare. Why is you?
It's an issue which has to do with culture. We've been raised in a society that believes that women should just stick to the kitchen. Yeah, so you see, growing up, we've always seen our mothers and sisters just in the kitchen, not being given responsibility to doing other things. But I think that's the reason why we even prefer listening to men and then just say, okay, women should be there. It's by default. But I think it's something that is changing now.
It has to change because it's just a song is a song. It doesn't matter which gender, as long as you vibe to the song, the lyrics, you resonate to that song. I think that's what should matter at the end of the day. Because now also Zambia nambo feeling amaningi. Okay, but initially nizomvera maningi ways because there's just that one is any passion. Jema mveka chati umuntu ayimba feeling awaize kai kuma mveka chena ma vocals mwachara deliver muntu. And that's very true. You know what I mean? That's I think I gave her a lot of respect the time I met her because she was performing at some place. You know what I mean? And then in the live nabona mvera chati voice mwini mamverera because she was performing one of the songs she did. Yabwambeka chat exact yamoyana hapa computer nje akazi uyu muntu amayimba shika mwamvera benango akacha nyimbo yake ubombere manje na mlio live ndimwe olo ni mandani
most like of many artists do not manage singing live music because their sounds are connected to auto-tune.
Exactly.
So they find it very difficult. But of course, we have Venadanika who are like industry legends with regards to live performance. They can nail it. But I believe these new artists or these new these who have just coming up in this generation have a lot to learn from those legends, at least.
And that's how authenticity I think comes in. You have to really accept yourself and some of these features that you have. Because if you try to play it by whatever is out there, this is the standard. Ufunika ka voice kamveka smooth, kumveka mungani wa Chris Brown. So now upo join industry uzafuna tiwa kutune kumveka kumungani wise right.
The day that people listen to you, like live performance.
Nipo anju muntu. So wamene oyo ni wamene wise but I think when talking about authenticity, I think we can actually get into the main topic now that we're talking about because I feel it also touches on this same authenticity. Now we've got a thing where these days my relationships tingana na bantu women, for example, us men, you want to find a girlfriend, you want to find a wife, but you don't really know how to find this person, you know what I mean, in this modern world of ours. What's your take on that?
Okay, the thing is that you have really stressed it very well. Like you have to check yourself, and the intentions also matter. What do you want out of that relationship which you want to establish? Because in most cases, most of us have been a victim of peer pressure. Just because you see your friends are in relationships, you feel you have been left out. So you want to get in a relationship so that you just feel like you belong to that social grouping, whether it's just your friend or maybe in school or just society in itself. So it's the intentions as well, and you have to prepare yourself. And with regards to love, yes, because a relationship, it has to deal with love eventually at some point. Love is 100% and not 50-50. You need to first love yourself. When you learn to love yourself, you will know how to love another person. Most people are in relationships not because they want to be in relationships, but they want to feel, they are so lonely. There is a gap within them that they need to fill. So they will go to someone else looking for validation. As a result, they do what? They end up in relationships. So the first step, which I believe, is that you first have to fall in love with yourself. When you fall in love with yourself, you'll be honest enough that even the time that you find someone to be in your life, you tell them exactly who you are, so that they love you for who you truly are. Most of the times people are busy complaining that, no, I was in a relationship with this person, but she never loved me for who I am. Why? Because you did not tell you who you are. And how is a person going to love you for who you are when you yourself, you don't even know who you are?
Like you've said, you know what I mean, seeking validation and all these things, I think they play a very big role. Like what you're just from saying. How do you get to know someone when you don't know who you are? Because sometimes you even know yourself. You feel who you are is this person, but then you're not going to be that person because maybe you feel you won't be accepted if you're truly yourself. And for you to be with someone, ufunika maybe wangarako a certain way, maybe. Okay, let me just give a silly example, but I don't know if maybe it will be related to that. Most times, you have to speak English. Have you noticed? It's always hi, how are you? Excuse me, hey, sunga kama ati washtabwanji ulibwanji, uzakama hi, how are you? Where you going? Shanshani mwebene, but it's always English. Sunga kwa alo, ashwan, laka, washtashani, umaize, but maybe I know it's just a language at the end of the day, but what I'm trying to say is you're not comfortable to do certain things that you feel this is who you are, but you'd rather do something else that is considered as a standard. You know what I mean? Just to get to know that person. But with this, while we're still talking about knowing yourself, how important is knowing your goals? For example, your goals, your values, those things. You know, as a man.
Yeah, it is very important to knowing yourself, because when you know yourself, you will know your goals. You align your goals and aspirations and everything. When you know yourself, you're not going to waste time in life. You know, walking aimlessly without you discovering yourself, what will happen is that you spend time trying to be like others. You see, you want to be like this person, you want to be like that person, but when you know who you really are, you will not waste time. You will just go straight and be who you are and work on who you are, because every person is unique. You are unique to yourself, I'm unique to myself. There's no one else who is like me unless I decide to act like someone else, of which I won't even manage. So it is important for a person to discover who they are, because they will not waste time being others. And it's also with happiness. You know, do you know that it's actually possible to be happy with yourself? It is very possible, yes.
To be happy with yourself.
Yeah, by yourself, with yourself, in you alone. There is always a you time. The reason why most people can't find happiness in themselves is because they haven't discovered who they are. When you discover who you truly are, you will be happy with yourself, because you'll be proud of yourself. When you do something, you won't blame yourself. There are some people, you know, maybe I'm a peza in a short temper, you see. You know, you don't really know what's causing that, but you are just trying to reject it. Rejecting it, it won't go away. You first have to understand yourself. Okay, this is coming because when I was growing up, you see, as a result, it's now part of my personality. So now how do I do with it? So it begins when you understand who you are, you accept who you are, and then you begin to work on making the best version of yourself. So you will become happy. When you start working on yourself, you will know that things are happening because this is who I am. And when you go home, you won't be ashamed of yourself. You will sit in the house and you will be so proud of yourself, because you know that what I'm doing today is who I am.
Yeah, but I think I'm one of those that is very happy with themselves. Because I spend so much time alone, and I have no issues with that. Because time chase, that's the peace, and helps me just to think clearly. Because my binet machaya bagamba time afunga kwa chati ongana cheweka mwazati pesa time zero number, so 01 bagamba ni chepanja ni gani za, but anyways, away from that. Tuingira sana too deep. You've brought up really good points when it comes to knowing yourself. I think this is something that almost all of us, and as young people, are really facing. There's so many people that are pretending to be who they are not. They are just trying to get all these things that they feel they need to get by acting a certain way. Because kana communities yetu mapezekamo and all those things. But besides that, I want us to also touch on something different, as we are still talking about these things. These days, katika modern world, as a man, I was still on finding a person, a wife, a girlfriend, and all those things. But in today's world, basically, it's not every girl that is not independent. There are those women that already have their own things going on, they're already financially stable, and all those things. And for us, as a man, that you're supposed to be a provider. But in that case where it's not only you providing that is needed in that situation, because already a woman has got her own things going on, she's independent. What else can a man offer in that situation?
Okay, a man can offer masculinity in that relationship, in as much as a woman might be independent, which is actually very important and what I advocate for. I am not a person who believes that it just has to be a one-man affair. The world has really changed. The economy is hitting hard. And of course, relationships are some building blocks. There's a possibility that it might end up in marriage. So let's say if your woman is independent, doing her own things, that's a plus for you. Meaning, so now what is it that is in for you as a man, your role now is to take up the leadership of that relationship. It might be spiritual. People did believe in different kinds of things. You must take up, yes, and protection. You must protect that person and yourself and the relationship as well. That is also that responsibility.
Emotional support, I think.
Indeed.
I think this is one of those that is very overlooked. Why sure?
Exactly.
Mkoze mchalo cha manje ni kuchache mwagona yasida. Is like emotional wise, because I think in our previous episode we were talking about something related to emotions. Is that there's that part where, for example, you meet someone online. So let's say you're in a relationship with your girlfriend, and then maybe your girlfriend is talking to someone else on the internet, and then you catch her, and then she says, "No, there's nothing going on because it's not physical. We just talk, so I'm not cheating." Unless watapeza tikisingana hata gona, then you can consider that as cheating. Why is it? So I think that is relating to what we're talking about now. Emotional support. It's one thing that is very lacking in manani mwatu. Imangala chati, you're going through something and you don't even know how to approach your person, your partner, mundu wangu. It could be both ways, how to approach a girl and also the girl to approach you. Why is it? Because most of the times you just want us that relationship to be a happy relationship. Kuseka seka shani, mamajati I'm sad. I know you tell me when you feel better. Have you ever received such a comment from your partner, Chate? You tell me when you feel better or when you are okay. That's when you talk.
I know. That's very much normal actually. Yeah. And you know, in Bemba we say that imiti pareme daibula kwesana. You know, we come from different backgrounds. Confusions, fights, misunderstandings are inevitable. That doesn't matter actually. What matters is how you get out of that situation. Right. You will always fight. Actually, in most of the cases, you fight more than you live happy. Why? It's because of those fights. How you get out of that fight is what will determine how good or bad the relationship will be. The most important thing is communication. We need to communicate how we are feeling. We need to communicate how we are doing things. If you see, like, if I see my partner does something in a certain way, but I don't like it, especially when we are talking on the phone, there are these kinds of things. There is a way in which she talks to you, but you don't like it. Do not overlook it. Communicate, because at some point she will find you in your lowest time and she will address you like that, or she will communicate in that way. And believe me, you are going to find a problem in that person. So it's all about communication. When you communicate that, okay, this is what I don't like, I like this, I like that, and also giving each other space. There are just times where you just feel you want to be alone. It's very important. You know, we are in a time whereby we need to hustle, we need to make money, we need time to brainstorm. Brainstorming about your businesses, brainstorming about all other activities. That needs you to be maybe alone. It's very important to respect each other's time. So when you respect someone's time or your partner's time, everything will work out. You see? So yeah, indeed. And getting back to the discovery of a girlfriend or relationship, I talked about first of all discovering who you are. When you embark on a journey of self-discovery, you will understand that there are certain things that you love and those that you do not love. So meaning, when you start looking for a partner, you are going to look for a person who has similar aspirations. You know, there is always someone for everyone. When they are building a building or
when they are building a building,
a skyscraper or a house, those are two different things. Let's say just a house or maybe a 3-bedroomed house. The foundation is very small, maybe just 4 or 3 courses of blocks. That's it. But when they are building a skyscraper, that's like meters going down into the ground, so deep rooted. It will take time. People won't even know that there's something going up, but they will only understand once it's done and it's so tall, beautiful. That's when they will see. Even relationships are like that. You need to understand who you are. When you discover yourself, you understand your assignment in life. What is my assignment? Let's say for you, your assignment is to give information to people, to entertain people, and educate people. There is a vision that you see, there is a place that you see yourself in future. You have understood your purpose in life. And when you are looking for a partner, you look at a person who is going to be willing to understand you when you are spending long hours making content, long hours creating ads, placing ads, making money. So you see, it all gets back to that. you are going to make sure that the person you are looking for in a relationship is a person who understands those things, or even a person who is in a similar field. It will be better. But for me, though, I prefer someone who is in a different field, so that you understand. You put things together. We are talk out. Yes, exactly. You just have a diverse kind of relationship. You see. So when you understand who you are, and then another thing is that when you know that you want to be a president in future, you also understand that I will need a first lady. You won't just pick up any person. You will need to get a person who is of that caliber. That can only happen if you've discovered who you are. But if you haven't discovered who you are, you just get anyone. No wonder people end up in relationships or in marriages later on in life. And they're just way too different people. How did I get here? You had an opportunity. Exactly. You had an opportunity to choose the person who suits you or who will support whatever journey you've embarked.
People, guys, these days, you know what I mean? Adding 6 figures. That's like ni term you are using. If you get it, you get it. But yeah, I got 8 figures. But anyways, I think we've really touched on what we're about to get into, and that's what to look for in a woman or a girl or the person that you want to get to know. Since I think your flow, so I think lastly, I think we can also just focus on the red flags. So how can you know that women to someone to anger? What are the red flags? Okay, for example, in a woman. Yeah, maybe let's start from you, the personal experience. Yeah, my red flags. Yeah,
that is that. But before I get there, I just want to highlight one more important point on the previous point that I was talking about. There's one thing, people say that don't go for looks, go for the art. There's this perception where people think, I don't know which terms to use. I don't want to be flagged at some point. Anyways, let me go for it. It's quite unfiltered. People say do not go for a person, do not go for looks, go for someone with a good heart. I don't know how people see good hearts in a person that they haven't interacted with. Me, I believe just go for a person who looks better. She's beautiful. It doesn't mean that people who are good looking, who are beautiful, don't have good hearts. No, it's just, people say, women, we all understand, women, there are a lot of things that they want and they are a problem. Just choose a beautiful problem for yourself. Choose a beautiful problem for yourself. What a beautiful problem. Yes, they're all problematic. You find that. But the problem is just divert that energy into something worthwhile. That's why you need to have something.
So red flag for you is someone who's not beautiful.
No. So, of course, there's the beauty. Anyways, red flag for me. Red flag is someone. For me, I'm sapiosexual. That simply means that I'm attracted to to women who are highly intelligent. I love intelligent women. I don't love explaining myself.
Uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Why?
Yes.
What are you thinking?
That also goes to the choice of my friends.
Yeah.
For me, it's better. Meaning I have a lot to learn than I am, because giving out is not as important as getting in. You benefit more when you are getting than you are giving out. So I love finding myself in circles of people who are intelligent, who have something to offer. Same with the women. For me, my first choice is someone who is highly intelligent. I don't love explaining myself. I say maybe just a dark humor, she gets emotional.
Yes. Maybe we are cracking a joke and I think
you see?
And it says this,
yeah.
Tamba film, you say but so, what makes you laugh, baby girl? What makes you laugh?
That's a red flag. A big red flag.
How about Makambapo at getaway Sashta Chanich, who's not kind? Is that a red flag for you?
Who is not kind? Yeah, it all depends on the type of kindness. There are a lot of misinterpretation, but for me, yes, who is not kind? The person needs to be kind.
Okay. But someone who doesn't cook, is that a red flag for you?
Yes, I almost forgot. I love cooking. I love homemade food. I cook myself.
You cook yourself?
Yeah, I cook
yourself.
I cook at home. You know, the first time my mom visited my house, she was very surprised because at some point she even found soda. Like soda, you pick it at daily. Yes, right now when you enter my house, you find these spices. I love.
Don't know why. Okay, but my spicy. Okay, anyway, please continue. So if you pick at tuntu jani.
That's my.
Tipiga shoro mulibena matomato bagamba na pia twaja twala bako.
I love good food. I love homemade food. And I want my woman. For me, what I look for in relationship is something long lasting, which might end up in marriage. So I know that any person that I'm dating at that particular time is a potential wife. So I look at those things. What if this person ends up being my wife? Of course, she won't be cooking every day. I'll be helping her. Of course, sometimes we'll be going out, we eat out, something like that. But I just love a home cooked food. When I'm stressed, I just get myself some home cooked food. It relieves me of my stress. So that's a red flag as well. She needs to know how to cook, but that doesn't mean that she'll be cooking on a daily basis.
Okay, atukwishiko ndiye chani hiyo. Isebera ngoma bemba site sana.
Tafira kwishiko like kwishiko kumuliro kunkuni kumbaola. Yeah. Because she's cooking throughout. No, that doesn't. No.
How about you? Is that a red flag or a green flag? What's it wagira? Varishani. Mukaripono kwatirana varishani murishani mkwai.
For me, that's not a red flag. That's not a red flag because of the environment where I'm coming from. Hey, I love that. For me, I couldn't mlembera na check. I love
it. Mafuna nani ne?
Iwe
play. I mean, you can respect me, but
I know.
Mulipisa, muliakuisa mwaraisa mulisa mkumbona nayo mwache chidinga. Chill bestie, over to chili.
Okay, yeah. I don't know, but maybe I've gotten used because of the people that have.
Baba bena chizungu che, kai chizungu mulibeole mutete.
Chizungu, yes.
Takwati va ndani mu chizungu.
Listen, a disrespectful person, you can even tell whether they are using English or it's just a local language. You say you can tell that okay, this is an environment where this person was raised, and of course some people misinterpret a person who is friendly. They think but of course you should always draw a line. For me, I always draw a line. Okay, this is where we can end. We can joke about this and that, but there should always be a line that okay, let's not cross this, because if we cross this line, we might end up having misunderstandings and all those things.
I think that's very important, man. Like I like that point, communication. Because cadet foot na imamveka mungati is one of those that are lacking in foot, and it's a red flag mostly. You can't communicate in a relationship. Because for me, I think it always goes back to knowing the person you're with. Why is that? Knowing the person who you're with and also knowing yourself. These things that we're talking about. Because if we've talked about something, there's no way I'm going to find myself or putting you in that situation. Because you hear, for example, the most practical, the most easiest example, you're cheating. Mapeza gero royo wa cheating, a gero for that why no because doesn't pass attention. No, because you didn't shine. No, because you're not giving me this. But the next question that follows is, did you tell me that you needed more attention? Did you tell me that you needed this? But kuna kugona you kapena ufuna 10 hours. Iseta chaya che 1 hour. But mwapomanda kuliva cha 10 hours. Kuza ni mbwanji ati mwezo cha 1 hour. What do you mean cha 1 hour? Did you ever tell me about this? Ningazibe mwe kama pesa tiamtia maybe ukadia umapisa ti sufuna she kukuta ufuna she wasi yako she waiza this. It's not every time that you need wadiratu wasi yako she but energy karibu. Exactly, but ingasuza kamba but you need more food. Mzazi babona tinipike na vinango. I can always try. That's the thing. No one is perfect at the end of the day. So you don't expect me to be perfect everything. Although you don't expect to find someone that's handsome, cute, shani. Although now gero sunga pesa gero beautiful, mafigures shani. Kumangala there's always something that amtengera ko muntu. But they can always try by all means to better themselves and work on those things. That's why we talk about also compromise in a relationship. It's something that's very important time because sunga peze muntu ali mungai. But sometimes it's just those things where you compromise for the sake of this person that you're with. With that being said, muntu wanga, I think we can always talk nefya shara palasti mwakamba na vesi mfungo kamba. Do you have any last words for our audience as we come to the end of our program? Okay,
I think on closing, I still emphasize For me, it's I am a firm believer that love is love. When you embark on a journey or a relationship with a person, love a person 100% or don't love at all. You see, because life or the universe is a reflection of the things that we do. If you don't show love, no love is going to come to you. Or create an environment where you can communicate effectively with your partner. Make sure that they are so comfortable around you, whereby if they communicate with you, you don't get upset. So the next time, me, I've been a culprit of whereby I haven't created a conducive environment for my partners to be communicating. But I believe it's very important when your partner is trying to communicate with you, before you react, listen to them. Sometimes it might be something that will upset you, but keep quiet, wait for the right opportunity. When she's in a better mood, then explain to her that, okay, this is how we are supposed to live. When you create an environment of communication, next time she won't go to someone else, decide to cheat on you. But she will know that if I tell this guy that, okay, vijavamena amakonda kunigwira ene vimani babisa. Okay, amakondo nigwira pa my shoulders, nmankara, I don't like it. I want him to be holding me. Kukwanja soche when you are walking, not for my shoulders. But you akuza koche kuti last time wamba waona kasuri romantic, you'll be boring. What we say really matters. She will be creating that. She knows that next time nzaka bwera nikamuza azaka kalipa. As a result, bagai bajani ma inbox. One day azakaendako, because women are so innocent. They don't know that this person is trying to take advantage of them. Before you realize it, it will be too late.
Thank you very much for those wise words. I think thank you very much for coming through, Mr. Chiwe. You have graced us with knowledge. One or two things. Otherwise, ladies and gents, it has been yours, Z Voices Podcast. Make sure that you subscribe, like, and give us your feedbacks in the comments so that we also know what you think about today's topic. How do you find that wife or that girlfriend? What are some of those things that you need to look out for? And who are you supposed to be before you get to that? Otherwise, it is what it is, and will always be what it will be. Let's keep it that way. It has been yours, Tisro, Z Voices Podcast. We are out. Turashuta bagamba so kushuta vya pena 3 2 1 and
possessions relevant na mpamvu we cement no angoze baimvera bafana bakulu na angoze